What the flip is up with a great institution, the town hall, which is degraded from what is probably the greatest form of democracy to a meeting of partisan bickering? That's next on What the Flip. Hello, welcome to What the Flip. I'm your host, Victor Vogel. Sometimes it helps to look at history as a means for understanding what is right and wrong with our society today. History often allows us to step out of the complexity of our world today and see certain events when they are much simpler. I was struck reading an article on the website Smithsonian.com by Jackie Mansky, who wrote in October of 2016 an article entitled The History of the Town Hall Debate. Now, I'm going to put that link in the description so you can read the whole article. I don't know if you avail yourself of town halls today. In fact, I think most moderate people must avoid them, considering the participation in town halls is small compared to the total population of that area. A recent town hall in Michigan struck me as nothing more than one partisan group out screaming the other partisan group. It seems nothing much is ever resolved in a town hall. Rather, the town hall is a public place covered by media to yell your partisan points of view. The person conducting the town hall walks away with no more than they already knew: what the partisan divide is and the severity of emotions around topics like impeaching Trump, gun laws, health care. But as for those participating, there is normally no room for conversation, no collaboration to help the person conducting the town hall come up with a solution that would be reasonable for the people of that community as they relate to being part of a larger country, the United States of America. Town halls were not always that way. Mansky described when the first town hall was established. Quote, "The very first town hall in the United States was established in Dorchester, Massachusetts in 1633. Per the town's court records, every Monday at the sound of an 8 a.m. bell, townspeople held a meeting to settle and establish, quote, such orders as may tend to the general good as aforesaid," close quote. Decisions made at these meetings were honored as law, and every man to be bound thereby without naysaying or resistance. Close quotes. This seems to me to represent a true sense of democracy as a republic. But we were not even a nation yet. Mansky continues, the practice soon spread throughout New England as an effective means for citizens to decide on important issues of the day. Town hall meetings gave locals a way to have their say in local affairs. The informal majority rules form became a foundation of early American democracy, and they are still used throughout the country today. The longest continuously functioning one, held in Pelham, Massachusetts, has been run out of a two-story wooden structure since 1743, close quotes. Now, this collaboration, in some cases compromise, seems rather idealistic. Keep in mind, the town hall has evolved from communities writing their own laws to a society that has community, county, state, and federal laws, a much more complex world. From 1663 until 1776, communities were much more isolated. Then all of a sudden they were all linked to a bigger society known as the United States of America. And we were united through a revolutionary war for freedom. Today we are not united to defend our freedom, but rather have become a country divided along partisan lines to debate smaller topics than freedom, topics like gun control, abortion rights, LGBTQ rights, health care, voting rights, immigration, trade, the economy, housing, the environment, and the list goes on. These are all internal topics for debate. These are all topics that divide us because we, the people, see them from our own self interest. We're in fact so diverse that finding common interests for these areas seems virtually impossible. We choose to ignore the more vital issues that could unite us, like defending against foreign adversaries who seek to destroy our freedom, securing our country against all types of attacks like physical, cyber, economic, and environmental threats that could actually destroy the human race. Town halls have degraded from finding mutual solutions to things that are personal and make our individual lives better. We tend to be selfish based on what we desire versus the prescribed early rules of town hall meetings whose rules said such orders as may tend to the general good. If you define the term general good, it would be defined as general, which is an adjective and primarily defined as things affecting or concerning all or most people, places, or things. It's widespread. If you define good, used primarily as a noun, it is defined as that which is morally right, righteous. When combined, the early town halls discussed and agreed upon things that affected all or most people, places, or things in a way that was morally right and righteous. Town halls in the early days worked well for local communities. When you elevate town halls today, they consist of a few people discussing topics that affect them personally, not in relation to how they fit into a macro society of 300 million diverse people in America. Lump on top of this issue that America is no longer an isolated country but has become dependent on global interaction. Unlike the early town hall, the topics covered are impacted by a variety of variables that virtually make it impossible for town hall input to be valued realistically. Sure, it's important for a congressional representative, regardless of party, to hear their constituents. But when you have 100 people show to a town hall in an area consisting of thousands of people, and they in turn are part of a state of millions, who in turn are part of a society of hundreds of millions of people, the idea that a representative can make decisions about our country based on input from a town hall is impossible to fathom. In a discussion with someone the other day, I asked this person about the impact of town halls, and they quickly replied, "They are useless because our representatives' hands are tied with national politics." I found their solution rather interesting. They said, "We should realize we're in a different world and scrub old ways like town halls and upgrade to technology that allows for more rapid input from all the people through the internet. I think using the internet to input to representatives in a confidential way would encourage more input, provide more reliable data that can be collected quickly to compare against the rest of society's needs. The amount of factual and confidential data would make it hard to argue a partisan point of view versus what is best for the general good." End quote. I found that interesting. So, do we continue an old tradition or upgrade our input to our representatives? Of course, this would open up a whole new set of arguments about security and protection of such a system, but would it be worth upgrading from town halls to internet input? I would like to know what you think in the comments below. This is What the Flip. I'm your host, Vic Vogel. Share this with your friends and encourage them to state their thoughts in the comment sections. And please respond to my poll that I'm going to put on my Facebook page, and you can find that link in the description below. Have a great day.